Traitor who attacked the Capitol on January 6 gets 18 years in prison. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. The leader of a far-right militia has been sentenced to 18 years in prison for his role in the U.S. Capitol riot. Stuart Rhodes, the founder of the Trump-supporting Oath Keepers, was convicted on charges of seditious conspiracy and other crimes. Rhodes, however, stayed outside the Capitol on January 6 of 2021, but coordinated with militia members who stormed the building. The sentence is the longest yet given to a Capitol rioter. Prosecutors, however, had asked for 25 years. He was also convicted last year of obstruction of an official proceeding and tampering with documents or proceedings in one of the highest-profile Capitol riot trials. At a hearing yesterday, the militia leader showed little remorse, claiming he was a political prisoner and insisting that the Oath Keepers only intended to protect other protesters. Yes, one by one, these traitors going to jail. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, now officially a candidate for the president, is no longer tiptoeing around former President Donald Trump, nor is he being shy about his plans to flex the powers of the presidency like never before if he wins the White House. He has assailed Trump as fiscally irresponsible and a supporter of amnesty for undocumented immigrants. He said Trump's COVID-19 mitigation policies destroyed millions of people's lives and also told Fox News his day one priority would be to fire the former president's handpicked FBI director Christopher Wray. Trump is a different guy today than when he was running in 2015 and 2016, DeSantis told Tennessee conservative talk radio host Matt Murphy, saying he don't know what happened to Donald Trump. Over in Jamaica, disruption is expected in the education sector today as teachers will take industrial action over what they describe as disregard by the government in relation to their salary issues following the compensation review exercise. The teachers have become impatient with the government's failure to resolve anomalies with their salary, including incorrect and late payments. Jamaica Teachers Association President LaSandra Harrison told educators that they must take a stand to register their displeasure. She told teachers that the industrial action is to urge the government to pay teachers the agreed sum. The JTA also said that after months of dialogue with the government, no resolution has been forthcoming to the issues raised with the Minister of Finance and Education, both in person and in written communication. And these poor teachers cannot get even a 5% pay raise, but the government ministers receive over 300%. Not a soul in Jamaica should go to work today. They should shut the entire country down until all government workers get just like the ministers of government as well. Aisha Scarlett, a British national who was arrested in connection with attempts to smuggle 4.5 kilograms of cocaine onto a flight destined for England, was on Wednesday sentenced to 6 months imprisonment by the St. James Parish Court. Scarlett, a 37-year-old office administrator of Birmingham in England, was also slapped with $600,000 Jamaican fine during her sentence hearing after pleading guilty to the charge of possession, dealing and attempting to export cocaine. And during the hearing, Scarlett's lawyer Orville Morgan said that it was the first time that his client had committed an offense or anything deemed unlawful. And in handing down the sentence, Judge Smith Ashley took into account Scarlett's age, her previous good character, and the fact that she pleaded guilty at the earliest opportunity. In addition to the 6-month sentence, Scarlett was ordered to pay a fine of $200,000 or spend 6 months in prison for possession of cocaine and $400,000 or 6 months for attempting to export cocaine, with the sentence to run consecutively if the fines are not paid. And she's the second British woman to be sentenced over a 2-week period. A farmer accused of torching his neighbor's house and accidentally setting himself ablaze has been charged with arson. About 11:30 Wednesday morning, 40-year-old Burrows, otherwise called Old Pipe of Guinnep Tree Lane in Norwich in Portland, was seen by the neighbor pouring liquid on his house. The complainant, who had been tending to his goats, then saw the dwelling engulfed in flames and made a report to the police. Mr. Rose then sought medical attention for burns to his body, and that's where he was arrested at the hospital. A 27-year-old St. Elizabeth bar owner was arrested following the siege of an illegal firearm and several rounds of ammunition. Superintendent Kenneth Chin, head of the St. Elizabeth Police, said that a police team was conducting vehicular checks on Tuesday afternoon along Oxford Main Road in search of illegal firearms and wanted men when a Toyota Corolla motor car was stopped. During a search of the vehicle, a 9mm pistol along with a magazine was found. The bar owner, who was the sole occupant in the vehicle, was then taken into custody. Superintendent Chin said that the police have now seized 15 firearms so far this year in St. Elizabeth, compared with 5 for the corresponding period last year. Meanwhile, commanding officer for the St. James Police Division, Senior Superintendent Vernon Ellis, said that the police are willing to do whatever it takes to weed out criminal elements whom he says have been wreaking havoc in Mount Salem in the parish. Ellis, while urging citizens to continue feeding law enforcement useful tips to help in their fight against crime, said that the area had been relatively peaceful over the past 6 or 7 years, but has now seen a spike in violent crimes over the past few weeks. Ellis said that the police believe that 5 major players are responsible for the increase in criminal activity and described the individuals as devils and cowards who have been moving back and forth through the area causing problems. He is now asking the citizens to be on the lookout for them and to notify the police when they spot them. The Clarendon police have charged 28-year-old Rory Palmer in connection with the death of Canadian national Jadia Pauline Whitehead. Mr. Palmer, a fisherman of Portland Cottage, was charged Wednesday with the offense of causing grievous bodily harm with intent, but investigators are expected to upgrade the charge to murder in the coming days. Palmer's case was mentioned before the Clarendon Parish Court yesterday. He was remanded until June 1st when his attorney, Dwight Reese, is expected to apply for bail. Miss Whitehead, who arrived in Jamaica from Canada on April 30, died in hospital on May 13, a day after she was involved in a physical altercation with Mr. Palmer, who is said to be her husband. Autopsy has said that she died from blunt force from a head injury. Meanwhile, the Constant Spring police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting death of a man on Mannings Hill Road in Kingston. The deceased has been identified as Marlon Byfield, otherwise called Sniper, of a Mannings Hill Road address. Reports are that on 12/20, Byfield was raking in front of his yard on Tuesday when gunshots were heard. On the arrival of police, he was seen lying in a pool of blood with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. He was rushed to a medical facility where he was pronounced dead. Onto sports. Inclement weather in the Dominican Republic has forced changes to the schedule of the 2023 CONCACAF Women's Under-20 Championship. The Group A match between Canada and Jamaica, as well as the United States and Panama, which were initially slated for Wednesday, will now be held this evening. Jamaica's Reggae Girls will then play the USA on Sunday with their final group match against Panama, which is set for Tuesday on May 30. Furthermore, the matches in Group A that were originally scheduled for Friday will now take place on Sundays. The Boston Celtics put on a show last night and totally destroyed the Miami Heat, beating them 110-97, and now get the series more interesting at 3-2 with Miami in the lead. Now with the series heading back to Miami, things should be different, and we expect that Miami will take Game 6 and send them home. However, it's going to be a difficult game for Miami as Boston has now built up confidence that they can win 4 games straight to win the series and break the record of no team winning a series after being down 3-0. Game 6 is going to be tomorrow evening at 8:30 p.m. And if you missed the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.